Thanks for staying with us. A Gift of the Givers is sending containers of food aid to Yemen. This is in response to food insecurity following years of conflict there. Now, most of the contributions come from women groups throughout South Africa, and we're joined now by the Gift of the Givers, Anas Al-Hamati. Anas, thank you so much for joining us. When a story like Yemen is being covered internationally, there seems to be a lot of focus on the politics behind the scenes. Saudi Arabia backing who, Iran, all of this is what we hear all the time. And then you get a report from the United Nations saying that this small country is on the brink of a massive famine, and that you've got more than half of the population on the brink of starvation. Tell us how bad the situation is there.
Thank you for having me today. Actually, the situation is now classified as the worst humanitarian crisis in the world at the moment. Now we are trying to help people just only to save lives. Our aid and our containers that we're sending by Gift of the Givers to Yemen is only to save lives of people, because now people, they are starving to death in so many areas. And actually the humanitarian access in so many areas is not easy, it's very complicated, which make the suffer of the people is very hard at the moment in Yemen.
From what I understand, millions of people have been surviving on emergency aid food parcels now for many years. And what that means is that now physically their immune system is so weak that on top of trying to feed starving people, it's become a health crisis as well.
Of course, I can say more of the first people, of the people who suffering from diseases like very simple, like kidney failure, or most of them they've been died because of the situation. They can't reach to a medical care, and most of people who, for example, the diabetes, they can't access to the health care to survive. In different areas, also the problem in Yemen is now the fight is over 14 provinces around Yemen, which make the suffering of people everywhere. We can't say this side of Yemen there is a war on this side and this is safe. Now there is so many areas. Actually, most of the areas where most of the people live is trapped by war.
Now, we understand that the UN-sponsored peace talks are underway in Sweden. They're taking baby steps forward. Is there hope that a ceasefire will be brought, at least for humanitarian reasons?
Actually, the UN envoy to Yemen, he announced that this negotiation in Stockholm only to build the trust between the parties. It's not to stop the war, because it's before this there is so many steps. And today the Houthi, he refused to implement what he must do in terms of stop the war. And the legitimate government, they still have the ground that to stop. If we want to stop the war, we have to stop it on the long-term peace. The Houthi must give up all the weapons and must, for example, the city of Al-Hudaydah, he must leave Al-Hudaydah and leave it under the legitimate government control, which is now they're still negotiating this. But in the same time, there's thousands, on can say millions of people. They are suffering every day. We have every 10 minutes a child die because we can't save this life. For example, Gift of the Givers, we went to Taiz now, and we decided to check, to verify one area. We find in one area 7,200 child. They suffering from malnutrition in one area, and you can imagine what about the other areas. So the situation is very complicated. It's very hard for the ordinary people who now they just want to survive.
Tell us about the work that Gift of the Givers has done. You made the call out saying that you want to send aid to Yemen. What was that response like?
Actually, we started in Yemen from 2012. Since then, we're sending more than 160 containers to Yemen. And now we are arranging about 30 containers to Yemen. This will be enough for about 7,000 families in Yemen. We have now a database for 7,200 families. We are going to cover all of them in one area. We can't cover all the areas because it's not easy. But we went to verify these families. We promised them we will come back with food, and we are coming back with food. This will be enough for them for at least 2-3 months.
Now, we understand that you had quite a big response, especially from women-led groups, organizations like the South African National Muslim Women's Forum. The plight of women specifically in Yemen must be one that has really touched a nerve here in South Africa as well.
Yeah, actually we're getting good response at the moment. I'm so happy, even our team in Yemen, they are so happy because the goods that we are going to get it from South Africa to Yemen, because even if we think to buy goods from Yemen, it's very expensive because of the logistics is very expensive.
And it's difficult to get them through the ports and to transport it
Exactly. But when we get the goods, we are going to really make a change in Yemen for so many families.
If people want to get involved in some way, shape or form, how do they get in touch with
They can log into our website, so they can check all the details. They can donate online, or they can donate in kind for all our logistics centers around South Africa.
We thank you for your time and we wish you the best of luck to
Thank
get
you so much.
That aid to the people who need them most. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Anas Al Hamati from The Gift of the Givers.